Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick and this is MSFS Flight Plans. Got something very special for us this afternoon, or this evening actually, my local time. Cli4D has released another pack, and it was probably a week or so ago. I have been bogged down working on that Route 66 tour, so I haven't been able to get to it, but he just told me that he put a new update in there, so we're going to go ahead and check it out, fly around it. I did take another pass in the 500, which is kind of our tradition, but I have been just dying to take this Skycrane out somewhere. I've never flown it before this flight. So we'll see how it goes. And I got to tell you guys, all the incredible waterfalls aside, this is Yosemite Valley, by the way, if I didn't mention that before. This is really the perfect showcase for what is, in my opinion, a vast improvement over just the standard scenery from 2020. I'm trying to stay away from that tail rotor there. It looks so good, so unbelievably good. This is just what 2024 was made for with the cliffs, because if you saw our flight that we took in, I don't even remember what plane that was that we took, maybe the Bronco out here in 2020, it had the drooping cliffs and all that, but now that all the cliffs are jagged and rough, and now we're going to have the waterfalls, all kinds of amazing things that we're going to check out. And this helipad is actually not marked in the sim. It's not part of the add-on, but I noticed that there was another little mark out here in the world map. I'll show you where we are on the little nav map in a minute. Bijan has put some sequoias out there, and there's a few of them right there. You see that? Right in front of us? So we're going to fly around here and look at this real quick because it's right next to Yosemite Valley. And I bet it's going to look pretty cool. So let me pull a little nav map over real quick, and I'll show you exactly where we are and how I've marked it up for you guys. As always, this will be included. I won't put a flight plan in here, but I'll just include the little nav map bookmarks. Just look for, if you load up the bookmark file, look for Yosemite Valley. You'll find it because I don't know exactly where we're going to fly. Compared to some of Cli4D's other packs, this isn't like a huge area, like lengthwise if you want to fly it, but everything to see really in Yosemite Valley is pretty compact. The waterfalls, just amazing. The way the sun's kind of setting in the mist and the sky and the trees, everything is just amazing. So here's where this helipad is, and I did mark it for you. And if you have the Bijan Seasons pack, you will notice that there is a little POI marker in the sim right about here that says sequoias. This whole area has sequoias around it, which we're going to check out. But if you want to look for this helipad, here it is right here. Well, my helicopter's over it, but that is a legit helipad out here. Why it's out here, I have no idea. Crane Flat Lookout Road. This is perfect because we're flying the Skycrane. Excellent. I also marked in here all of the major landmarks that are included in the pack from Cli4D, so you'll be able to fly them and find them pretty well, as if you won't be able to see the waterfalls. But if you're just wondering what you're looking at as you're flying by, tracking a little nav map, you'll be able to see everything here. So the total distance of everything we'll be able to see is about, let's just measure that real quick, 10 miles. And I also marked a couple of other spots where I don't think they're helipads in real life, but Cli4D did put some additional spots to set her down if you want to do a little sightseeing. So we'll cruise down here, look at El Capitan, look at the waterfalls and all that. And what I didn't take a look at last time is this Wawona Tunnel viewpoint. I'm going to be interested to see if he actually put a tunnel in there, because you know tunnels usually don't look that great in the sim, and I don't even know if it's possible to model. I don't know if I've ever seen an actual tunnel in the sim. But he did do up all the parking areas. The village down here looks really, really good. This waterfall down here is just amazing, and I'd missed this waterfall last time. Illouette, I guess is how you'd say that. So we'll go check that out, and then I just found, I think this is one of the better looking waterfalls right here in Nevada Fall, or Falls, depending on how you like to say it. There's a little outhouse up here that he modeled, so there's supposed to be at least a cleared out spot, which I don't think is there in real life because you can see it's all treed over, where you can put a helicopter down, so we'll see if it's big enough to set this thing down. There you go. There's a little reminder of what 2020 used to look like. Yuck. No good. So let's check this thing out and see how it's looking. I bet it's going to look amazing. I did adjust the sun. I set it just a little bit so we could get a little bit more shadowing. We'll see how it looks. Okay, let me shift C it so we can just climb in here. If I can find the right button, which apparently I can't. There we go. I mean, just look at this. Look how good this looks. It'll also be interesting to see, there was a problem in 2020 with a lot of photographic flat trees out here in Yosemite. I didn't really notice any last time, but we'll specifically try to look for some this time to see if they're any better. I don't know which way this thing's going to try to yaw when we get up, so I guess we'll just figure that out. To the left, okay? So we'll give it a little right anti-torque pedal. So those look like pine trees there, but you can see the sequoias. There's one just off over our compass there. We'll just kind of swing around here and take a look at everything before we head down to the valley. See what all we can spot. The place I started the helicopter, by the way, does have a picture of a helicopter on it. It is not modeled in the sim. It's just a photograph of a helicopter, totally flat. That's why I put her down around top. Look at those trees right over there. You see that? Oh my gosh. This looks so good. Look at this. That just adds so much to it. I don't even know if there's sequoias out here in real life. I'm guessing there probably are. Nor do I know if they would really look like that. I mean, I've seen pictures of sequoias. Those look like the pictures I've seen. Unbelievable. And look at that. Some of them are even kind of brownish, like they might have got hit by lightning, which they probably did. Look how the sun's just coming through here. All right, let's see if we can see that flat helicopter. You see it over there? That's where we left from. I put her down right on top of it, but the other ones are opened up. You got some flat trucks of some kind. There's another brown sequoia. Okay, so I think we'll just come right down through this valley here and then turn to the left. That should get us into Yosemite Valley. So we just got Sim Update 3, and there's a couple things I'm really excited about. I'm probably not telling you guys anything that you don't already know unless you haven't been into it yet. I have noticed that my brake button has started working again on my Bravo, which is nice, so it actually actuates the parking brake, which is really nice. But some of the planes, like my 182, I can't turn the parking brake off now. So I actually got it to get up in the air. I just powered through it. Probably ripped up my brakes and my tires, but got it off the ground. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm sure there's some little bugs that'll have to still get worked out. But my absolute favorite upgrade is the ease of controller configuration. I could not stand how long that was taking to do anything. And now you can actually map stuff over. When I would try to set it up so that it would be default for like all planes, I had to let go of the cyclic there for a minute to grab my mouse. It would keep giving me a crash to desktop, so now that is actually working. And what I'm really excited about is the shared cockpit, which is not available yet, but they say it's coming. That's going to be cool, because my flight instructor Brian and I would love to do a lot of flying at all kinds of places and do it together. That would be pretty neat, actually in the cockpit together, because I'm getting a lot better at working the radios. And on that note, just to kill a little time while we're coming over here, I have completed almost all of the VFR ratings on Pilot Edge. I know I told you guys I would upload some of those, but I just think you'd probably get bored with it because I'm focusing so hard on managing the communications correctly that there's really not much time to look out of the windows or anything. I might do, the final one is a San Francisco down to LA. Plenty of stuff to see. There'll probably be a lot of dead air in between. I'm probably going to have to take a jet, maybe. That's a long flight, but it's a Bravo to a Bravo, which will be pretty neat to see that. Okay, we can already see some of the river down there, so you'll get the usual Clifford accoutrements of all the wonderful little boulders and logs and stuff down there. Parking lots look great. People look great. And I don't know what the deal is with this tunnel. I'm guessing it just kind of plows through that mountain right ahead because the entrance to the tunnel is over to the left. We'll see what we can see of it as we come around. Just look at how that sun and the haze is just, oh my gosh, so good. And I'm looking for photographic, in other words, flat trees anywhere if we can find them. Let's see if we can get a little bit lower here. Look at some of these boulders in the water. Boy, this thing flies pretty easy, especially compared to that 500. Nice and big and lumbering. It's holy smokes, we're going fast. We are way over our never exceed line. Didn't feel like it did it. It's like flying the Chinook around. Okay, let's slow her down a little bit here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to see is going to be on the left around that bend up ahead, and that is going to be the Cascades, which is a great big waterfall. Look at those cliffs. Oh, so nice. And I don't want to get too low because I kind of want to see how far he drew the water flowing up on top of the waterfalls, but I guess we can always ascend once we get out there and check it out. I mean, in my opinion, compared to 2020, just having textured cliffs, if nothing else was out here, makes this a million times better. This is really one of the best sightseeing for natural scenery spots in the United States, I think. And it was such a shame that it looked so bad. Even with some of the freeware mods that were available, someone else put out a waterfall mod that was not even anywhere in the ballpark. I applaud them for the effort, but not compared to the stuff that Cliff puts out. I think that one was a freeware too. I flew that one, it was okay. Not as okay as this, though. I'm just trying to look at... that's kind of a tight squeeze. Well, it'll open up here and we'll take a look at the rocks and the boulders and all that stuff. So I'm going to turn left around this corner. We're going to take a look at the Cascades, and then right back behind us should be the entrance to that tunnel, so we'll see what that's all about once we get around there. Not really seeing any flat trees. Of course, this is all covered with regular trees, so that's probably covering it up quite a bit. You know, I did turn off the plants and all that stuff, grass, just because I'm usually high enough to not see it anyway, and I don't want eating up our performance. This is kind of nice. It's going to be a big reveal once we come around this corner. And if I saw the price correctly, it's available on all the usual outlets if you want to pick this up. I think it was around $14.99, depending where you get it from. Somewhere in that ballpark. And if you like flying around places like this, that is right on the money for me. And just before we get up here, I have been trying to get on VATSIM because I wanted to give you guys some feedback about that, those folks that have not used it. As I mentioned last time, there is virtually no VFR traffic on there, so the way it's set up, I'm just trying to find a spot that's close enough to make a VFR flight and something slow enough that you'd fly VFR. But it's really just the big cities, because I think virtually everyone is flying liners in VATSIM. I tried to fly from Providence down to Long Island today, and by the time I got it all set up and everything, the controller checked out, and I couldn't leave from Providence, because I was trying to get, I mean, I could have, but I was trying to get the full experience with the clearance and all that, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But it's like Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, LAX, of course, San Francisco, JFK. Jacksonville was up for a little while, where I am right now, but not very long. Oof. Well, I hope the shadows aren't too bad. We can always adjust it if we need to. One other thing I noticed about the sim update, after the sim update, is now the handlebars popping back up. You can't see it because it's up there right now, but the handlebars popping back up. See it up there? I had a little add-on that removes that, so it's never there when I move the mouse around. And with the add-on in, the freeware add-on that I was using, I can't access the toolbar at all. So it made it disappear, but I can't get into anything now, so I had to go with the regular toolbar. I'm sure it'll just be a matter of time till somebody fixes that up. God, this looks so good. Okay, well, even if this one's in a shadow, we'll still get a nice look at it, but the last falls, Nevada Falls, which I think might be my favorite, should be right smack in the sunshine once we come around there. Okay, it's going to be right around this corner here on the left. Just a reminder, if you do get this add-on pack, if you saw any of our other Clifford packs, it's always a good idea to zoom all the way in on the falls on the world map before you actually take the flight. Otherwise, it will pop in as you're approaching it in the sim. If you make it fully load in before you get in the sim, that usually takes care of that, and it won't pop in while you're flying. Okay, Cascades, where are you at? Should be right around the side of that little lip right there. Look at all those rocks down there. Oh, those rocks are buildings. Let's dip down a little bit. They look like rocks. Very, very big rocks. Which is how I like my rocks. Yep, they are. Huge boulders. Incredible. Okay, I think we're going to have to do a little maneuvering here because it might be on the other side of this ledge right here to our left. Which is perfectly fine. Look at those rocks. Oh my gosh. Boy, those are big rocks. Oh, that's it. It's dead ahead. See right over there? Okay, so let's come up over this lit. Well, let's look at the whole thing. Look at this. It's coming down here. It's got a little lower tier. So you can kind of see something that looks like a fall on the top of that ledge there. And I think it's one of those deals where there is a scenery seam that you can actually see all the way through it, because I don't think that's part of the waterfall right there. See, it's running horizontally and vertically. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. I've already seen it before, but I'm just as excited as the first time I saw it. Okay, so this time we're going to kind of fly. Let's point ourselves at it and then just fly up the thing. Oh my gosh. Look at how it's flowing. I mean, it looks perfect. And we got a nice bridge up there. Look at the rocks and everything. Alright, how high does this one go? Okay, we got something over to the right here, so let's follow it up. I don't know why I always like chasing these things up the hills, but I do. So indulge me for just a minute. Look at that. It goes all the way up there. Okay, we're just going to keep on climbing. Wow, Cliff, this might be your best yet. That looks so incredibly lifelike. Good thing this thing's got a lot of torque. It has no problem getting up here. Wow. Wow, wow. Man, this goes way up here. I wonder if they have any trails or anything that you could hike all the way up to the top. Okay, it looks like it's going to kind of peter out in that little grove right there. Okay, cool. All right, let's come back around this way because I want to take a look at that tunnel, or at least the parking area for it, see what that looks like. Should be right behind us. There's the road that goes over to it on the other side there. And that might be it dead ahead. Are we pointing at it? Yes, we are. Okay, so let's just go over there and see what we got. And then we'll come down and look at Yosemite Village. And sometimes I feel very tempted to say Yosemite. Don't know why, but it sounds really good in the mouth. Alright, we're going to have some shadow on that, but that's okay. We'll just get down kind of low and take a look at it. Looking over at little nav map. Oh, it's going to be on this side over here. We almost overshot it. It should be just on top. Yep, you can see the parking area just on top of that lit up outcropping right there. Yep, we got to take the crane. We got to bring some water tower supplies out here. Maybe fix one of these bridges over the falls. I saw some more rocks down there by the water too. Okay, there's that parking lot should be right by the tunnel, which would be on this side of it if there is a tunnel. Oh, it's going to be in the shade. Oh, can we see the tunnel? It's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? It's going to be tucked in the shade, though. Well, when you guys get it, you can fly out there and take a look. Will, do you see a tunnel over there? Will? Tunnel? Nope. It says too shady. Okay. That's shady. Okay, so up here, this is where the village is going to be. In this big open area here. And way, way up there, going up in the sky, is good old El Capitan. And if you want more details about all this area, the Yosemite flight that we took in 2020 is chock full of them. If you feel like you want to be a genuine tourist and take lots of notes, this is really just to explore the scenery here. The rocks had a nice touch. In most of the maps I looked at, the ground down here is in shadows. That's why it doesn't look like it's very textured as far as not having really grass or anything on it. It's just dipped so far down in here that in almost all the satellite images, it was just really dark looking on the ground, so I don't think there's any photographic images. Oh, look at that fall over there. Okay, so that one's going to be, let me zoom in a little bit here and get the name of that one. That's going to be Bridal Veil Falls. And it also looks gorgeous. Man, the mist is such a nice effect, too. I'm not seeing any photogrammetry or photographic trees out here anywhere. I haven't spotted any. Unless I've just been too distracted by all the waterfalls. Look at that. Look how nice and thick it looks down there at the bottom. Yep, we got to go up to the top. See how far up it goes. There's my thumbnail. Oh, look at that. Yep, we got another little mini cascade up the top. I'm not going to go in there because I wind up getting stuck, so let's just turn this way over here. And come back down. Do a little Magnum PI action. If I was in VR right now, it would be very nauseous. So we'll come down a little bit, come around El Capitan. Should we fly up to the top of El Capitan and look over the edge of it? I think we should. I think we should while we're out here. We didn't do that on the last flight. We weren't landing the Bronco out there, that's for sure. What is there, another flow come down El Capitan? Let's see, what would that one be? I don't even have that one marked over there. I don't know if that was marked in the sim either. There's something, because it's misty. We'll get up to the top and check it out. Yep, you can see it running down there. Must just be a little trickle. Oh, there we go. Yep, I didn't zoom in on that one on the world map. So that's what it'll look like if you don't zoom in first. They'll pop in. So when you get in the world map, just come down this whole area as close as you can zoom in until all the falls pop in the world map. And then they'll already be... So there's another one of those tears in the scenery there. That has got to have something to do with Cliff modding up the cliff faces. Because we saw that on that last Norway flight that we did too. We saw some of that. And I'm sure he's aware of it, so it must just be something you can't get away from, because I'm sure he would if he could. Let's see if there's a spot where we can put this thing down on top of this, where we can safely look over the edge. If all these rock climbers can do it, we can certainly do it too. And that's, of course, assuming I can even put it down. Well, there's definitely a ledge there, or at least a flat spot, kind of flat. Let's just see if I can do it. I don't really think I can walk down on anything, though. This is going to be gut-wrenching. That'll be fun, though. Okay. Let's come on over here. Yep, if we were in one of those little lighter helicopters, we'd be jerking all over the place right now. I need to kind of get parallel with that, I think, or some part of this thing's going to be hanging off. It's probably bigger than it looks, hopefully. Okay. Alright, that was a little rougher than I wanted. Uh-oh. Okay, we're not doing that. Up we go. Alright, well, it was a good idea. Okay, so let's come back down here and look at the village. I could probably land there, but I don't want this thing rolling off. We can kind of get a sense of it just looking over the edge like that. I cannot recall how tall that was. There's a little hotel down here we'll see in just a minute, past the village, that's called the Ahawani, I think. That was built in 1927. I did look that up before this trip because I didn't mention it on the last one, but it's kind of an iconic landmark out here. I can't even imagine what a room must cost. I don't think they have a bunch of other hotels out here. Okay, so the village will just follow the stream up this way, and then where it opens up right up there is where the village is. And I want to see some of these rocks up close too, so we'll do that. Try not to overspeed. I think the best way, it would have been cooler if it was sunrise right now, because the sun would be coming up over the valley. I bet if we were going the other way, you'd really get the best sun ray effect. But now it's all back behind us. And we're overspeeding again. Slow her down. Yosemite Falls will be back behind the village. When I say behind, I mean it'll be on our left. So we'll see if we can spot that. I don't think we're going to have any trouble doing that. But I really want to see what this Ahawani Hotel looks like, because it was a POI in the sim. Okay, so Yosemite Falls might be tucked up there. We'll look as we come by. There it is. I might not have zoomed in on that one either. How high does that one go? It looks like that one is just starting kind of right there. But boy, does it look good. Look at that. Man, oh man. Alright, Ahawani. Where are you at? It should be... There it is, right in front of us. So we'll do a low flyby of that, check it out, and then we'll peel off to the right, and that's where our final destination will be, and my favorite of all the falls, Nevada Falls. And that's Half Dome right up there, sticking out in front of us, way up in the sky. Nice job, Cliff. Looks really good. That's pretty much what it looks like in real life. Although it's more like, it looked like, unless they'd rebuilt the exterior, well, it is kind of cobblestone-y, all the pillars and stuff. That's it. That's what it looks like. It even has the cobblestone textures. Okay, this valley over here, on this side of Half Dome, I'm going to bring the sun up a little bit, because I want to take a look at this. Let's just bring it up a little bit. Let's bring it all the way up. There we go. Yep, down here you can see where it gets a little bit more sunlight. There's more texture on the ground. Back there in the middle of the valley, not so much. All these bridges look really nice. Look at that. You can even see underneath it. Nothing filled in. It's got like a little arch down there. off to the right, we should have one more fall. That's the one I missed last time, Illilouette Falls. And then to our left will be where Nevada Falls are, which we will definitely climb up to because I want to check out that little outhouse, and we'll get out and walk over. They got a big bridge going right over the falls. We're going to check it out. And that'll be a wrap. So our next flight for Route 66, in between Dwight and Springfield, there was a pretty big stretch of nothing but farmland. So we're going to go to the next town south of Dwight, skipping about 30 miles or so, and then fly into Springfield, which is the capital of Illinois and has photogrammetry and is the place where Lincoln's buried. So that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully VATSIM will be covering that area when we do it, but it's going to be really tricky with air traffic control because it's like 3 miles. The airport is like 3 miles outside of town. Ooh, that's going to be really tough to get into, but we're going to fly up over it and see if we can... Yeah, that's just a little guy, nice and skinny. We'll just turn around once we get in that open area there. But Springfield looks really, really good. I just have to finish my research for it, so I'm hoping by maybe Monday or Tuesday that'll be up. Not too close to the cliffs. Yeah, I totally missed this one last time. You could see why. It's tucked up in here. Oh boy, she's fighting me a little bit. She's fighting me a little bit. We're getting some turbulence. It doesn't look like I'm peeking out the torque, but maybe just in this valley it's... Our altitude's 5,600. We're nowhere near our upper altitude limits. This is not a good view. Okay, let's come over this way and see if we can get a little better shot of that. Back her up some. Do not try this at home. I just hope I don't hit the tail behind this. There we go. There we go. Lovely. Boy, that is really tucked up in there. Okay, let's go check out my favorite one of all, Old Nevada Falls, which will be right back here behind us. And there's another one at the bottom called Vernal Falls. There it is right down there. So there's a big, big fall with a bridge over it, and then Vernal Falls down at the bottom. We're going to have to come way down here. So we'll just come like halfway down. Oh my gosh, look at this view. Thank you, 2024. Thank you, 2024. Of course, there's so much speculation now about after Sim Update 3 is now the time to switch over to 2024. You guys know that I switched pretty much on day one, didn't go back to 2020. And I don't do career mode, I don't do photography mode or any of that stuff. Aside from a few planes still having some issues, there's enough variety for me. Obviously on the channel, nothing we've flown has really had major problems. Still a couple planes aren't loading flight plans correctly. But by and large, everything is working good enough for me. And just the scenery improvement alone, obviously that's the big deal for me. Guys that are flying airliners and stuff, you're doing different types of stuff than I'm typically doing. And you may be encountering issues that are not a problem for me, but I am now perfectly content with 2024. And it's just going to keep getting better. I'm seeing a lot more developers that are saying they're going to stop supporting their 2020 planes, so I think the slow death of that has begun. There's Nevada up there, so this is Vernal Falls right here. We're flying right over it. We'll come up to the top of this, look for that outhouse, and there's supposed to be a spot that's a little clearing for a helicopter, so we'll take another crack at putting this thing down once we get up there. If it's not too far from the bridge, we'll walk over to the bridge and take a look at that too. And if I can't put it down there, last time I landed just to the left of the falls up there. Granted, it was with a significantly smaller helicopter, but I do want to walk across that bridge. Look at this. This is what just makes it for me, guys. It really does. It really, really does. I'm still waiting for someone to come out with a great volcano pack. Bijan, actually, in some of his first iterations of his scenery, we took that flight out in the Mediterranean. That's the best volcano I've seen anywhere. It must have something to do with the smoke effects or something. Stromboli is what that one was. There's the little bridge. Okay, so the outhouse should be like right here somewhere to the left of that. Ooh, it might be in that little clearing up there, and that is going to be really, really tight. And I'm not seeing the outhouse, but it's just an outhouse, so maybe I wouldn't be able to see it anyway. Let's not get too low. Is that it? Okay, there's a little walkway up there. You see it? Or are those just trees that have fallen over? Oh, there's the outhouse. It's right. See it right in our little quarter window right there? That is going to be real tight for this helicopter. Yep. If we had the Mini 500, we could probably do it. I don't think this thing's going to fit up there. Is there even a platform? Looks like there's a platform. You see that wooden platform? Let's look at it at the side window. Oh yeah, there's no way this thing's getting on that. If that's a helicopter platform. Nope. We could probably just set the thorax of this thing down in the middle of it, for lack of a better term. Okay, well, we'll come over here by the bridge because I want to see that anyway. We'll get out and walk over there. That's a little bit bigger. This thing might still be too gigantic for that area. I'm having a little bit of stability issues now. But man, for the first time flying this thing, I would figure it would typically be much more of a mess than it's been. So no major complaints. Let's see if I can just get into a hover and not hit that tree. We're going to have to really thread the needle here, guys. Okay, okay. Ease it, ease it, ease it, ease it in. That is not real flat. Okay, well, I may just kind of skitter right into that little opening right there. And we'll walk over that bridge. That is tight. Right about here is where I want to be. I can already hear the tail dragging. Luckily, this has brakes. All right, if I can get the front of it on there. There we go. Hit the brakes. Perfect. Okay. I don't know how to shut this down yet, so we're just going to leave it on. I'll go ahead and turn the brakes on, which are right over here. Gonna leave it on the whole time. Perfect. Let's hop out. Shift C. I can never find that button. Oh, it's rolling. Oh boy. Oh boy. Stop, stop, stop. Let's try that again. We're gonna need some brakes. I mean, you think pulling the parking brake is on, right? Maybe it's because I still had to collect it up a little bit. So that's off. On. Okay, now we're not rolling. All right, let's try this again. All right, Will. You just keep your feet on the brakes. That's the only thing you're allowed to touch. Now, what I like about this is you can actually walk on top of this stuff. Sometimes when you get out here by this kind of scenery, it just kind of disappears and you walk through it. Not out here. Let me see if I can find at least a low ledge. Look at that. Love it. Oh, yeah, we're going to walk right over the edge of that. Look at that view. You can hear my butt kicker buzzing in the background. Look at that view. That's amazing. Okay. Bridge looks phenomenal. Characters look very... Whoa, hello. Hello, late... Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, gosh. Okay, hold on. We're going to get out of here. We'll climb back up. There we go. I meant to do that. Okay. Hello, ladies. Man, she's all sleeved up and everything. Very realistic looking. And here's the pervert. They always gonna have a pervert out here. Man, that is a very realistic looking character. Right down to the chest mane. Look at the chest hair. Oh, he's rocking the bows. Dude, come on. They are not gonna be into you. That's why they're standing over here acting like you don't exist. Okay, right before we're done, let's just look over the edge of this side. We gotta do it. Guys, tell me. I mean, guess if you still have 2020 installed, go take this flight in 2020 and then come back out here. 1,000,000 times better. Even do it without the waterfalls. It just looks so much better. And then go get the waterfalls. Oof. I really don't want to fall off. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so that's it. So in the links down below will be the link to our Discord server. As usual, there will not be a flight plan link because you can fly this however the heck you want. But there will be that bookmark link if you want to take off where we did. If you have the Bijan Seasons Enhanced Pack, you'll see all those big sequoias out there, which will be really cool. And then show our brother Clifford some love. Pick up this pack. This might be... I'm trying to think of all of his others. So we've flown every single one of them. I really like that last Norway one we did because there was a lot of landing challenges. That spot by that huge glacier waterfall was probably my favorite, like, just micro scene. But as far as just a large area where everything looks amazing, this one may be my new favorite. It's pretty close. All right, I can't stand the sound of my butt kicker buzzing, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. Check you later.